Vernon Farber. I'm a former New York Times reporter and writer for Vanity Fair and an oral historian. I first thought of doing this story after spending a couple years in Chicago between 1993 and 95, working on another old famous murder case in Chicago that's unsolved. And I'm sure I heard about this case. On the other hand, I may also have been attracted to it by conversations with a California DNA expert named Edward Blake, who had been involved in this case in its earliest stages and had done some of the DNA work in it. This story was a big one. I had done stories for Vanity Fair for half a dozen years or so, including the time after I left the Times in '93. I know their appetite for a good story. That's one thing. Secondly, one man's big story is another man's little story. This is a consequential story. When I got a feel for the real possibility that innocent people had been convicted in the case, then I knew it was a big enough story to try to persuade Vanity Fair to do it. One unanswered question is whether Nicaragos finally satisfied with the outcome. To the extent that anyone whose child is killed can be, satisfied is the wrong word, are they agreeable to it? Brian Dugan, who presumably will spend the rest of his life in prison, what set him off in this spree of sex crimes and murder? What was he thinking between 1983 and 1985 before he started talking about having killed Janine Nicaraco? Was he thinking that if he ever got caught, he'd tell about this case, or that when he got caught for the Schnur murder there and the Ackerman murder, he just decided, I'll just throw this in the pot? I don't know what his thinking was. If there were 5 readers of Vanity Fair who never read anything in the Chicago papers or wherever else it was written about, who saw that story and said to themselves, look, this could happen and I have to be aware of that and alert to it as a citizen, then it's worth the paper. When I'm writing about events and places, I'd like to go to them. Of course, I went out to Naperville. I believe the Nicaragos have moved from Illinois. I don't know when that was. I don't know what was who was living in that house or what have you. But I looked around Naperville, and it has a special meaning to me to be in a place where something happened. It gets my juices going.